Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Yo, what's up?
I was told that I have to tell you guys Happy Pie Day.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. There may also be a pie, a peanut butter pie in my fridge.
I'm a big fan of pie.
I don't believe in math.
It's keto, and I'm going to eat the shit out of it later.
What does math have to do with pie? I understand.
A lot of things.
That's what they're actually celebrating is the number 3.14 repeating, not baked pies.
I thought it was baked pies and pizza, so I have it wrong.
Yeah, I'm very confused, but continue.
I mean, if you want it to be about baked pies, that's your right as an American.
I mean, I'm like confused because like every day is pie day for me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Kenny was just telling us about how much weight he gained.
Mm-hmm. It's not a small number. The number will shock you if you go to the after hours on our Patreon page.
Weighs 2 Robbie B's.
I don't believe that for a second. If you're that small, that's shocking. I believe that for a second.
I am now.
Damn.
Actually, no, but you're close.
Damn, I'm fat. Oh, man. So no podcast next week. We'll be at Adepticon 2024. The whole gang will be back together. We sent out another round of emails with the tokens to the attendees of the Long War Doubles event that happened today. So if you're listening to this podcast and you're going to the Long War Doubles and you feel as if you haven't received your email, I assure you, you have. And what I would like you to do is go click on the search part of your email service. I want you to type 40K Longwear. Like 40K Longwear at gmail.com. I want you to type that, and it's going to bring up all the emails you've ever received from that email address. Yeah. Right? And you're going to see this email. You're going to see 2 of them, actually. Be like, hey, welcome to Adepticon Long War Doubles, and here's your token. I need you to get that's where it is, guys. I don't want you to click on your spam folder and just like you glance at the page and be like, it's not there. Like, it's there probably on page 6.
I don't know. Sometimes like I search for emails and they're in my inbox, but like I never saw them. It's a mystery.
Mm-hmm. I'm solving the mystery for everyone home. So Adepticon 2024 kicking off next week. The whole crew is going to be there. Long War Doubles on Friday. New Tau Codex drops. And Adepticon predictions for the GW preview. Because last year, Rob was convinced that they would not reveal 10th edition 40K. And he was wrong over a series of podcast fights where
I've only been wrong once.
Where Wyatt was trying to convince him otherwise. Wyatt is our current reigning Adepticon preview champion. So that's the contest, the table of contents for the evening. Let's kick it over to Wyatt, who's back for another podcast with us. Let's roll out to that Cave of Wonders and touch nothing but the lamp.
Would you rather have in the middle of your living room a man sitting at a desk typing on a typewriter or a mime performing a routine? It's there 24 hours a day, 365. They work in shifts, so there's always a man, there's always a mime.
Gotta interact with the mime or the man.
You're not allowed to mess with them.
Like, I'm not allowed to mess with them, or they're not allowed to respond to me.
You're not allowed to mess with them.
Come on, man.
It's like an art exhibit, dude. You can't mess with it.
So if I go to try to distract the dude, he's gonna be like, I get like a butthole spiders warning.
Yeah.
Flashes up on your heads up display.
Yes.
That's not good.
So this typewriter, let's talk about that. Are we talking like the old timey, like clank, 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 clank?
Yes.
Oh man.
I don't know any other type of typewriter.
Well, no, there was the electronic ones where it was like it had a hum and like it was like almost air powered. It was like
Yeah.
clack, clack,
It's
clack.
it's an old timey one, dude.
So another question.
Oh,
So
okay.
the typist, I'm assuming, will make no attempt to visually distract me. It's only auditory. Whereas the mime will make only attempts to visually distract me, but make no sound.
Yes.
So he will always try to attempt to be in my eye line distracting me.
No. They don't move from the middle of your living room.
So then the guy who doesn't make sound is the only choice.
Yeah, I feel like this is easy.
I mean, if that's your prerogative, I mean, like the whole thing is it's fun not just for us, but for the extended Long War family. Some people might be scared of mines. They're like clown adjacent.
They are clown adjacent. That's true.
They are clown adjacent.
As long as he's not, I mean, he could be behind me doing his mime bullshit. That's fine. Don't be clacking away. And if he's not trying to get in my eye line and disturb me 24 hours a day, I'm fine with that. I respect the trade, you know?
What is the typist typing? You'll never know.
I can't, I get butthole spider fucking alerts if I try to peer over his shoulder. What if he's typing my life story?
Well, you'll never know.
What if the mime is miming my life story? Well, that's brutal.
Would you be able to recognize it?
Oh, yeah. And I won't be able to fucking stream anymore.
Interpretive dance.
That is interesting.
It's gonna be like, there's gonna be this like one section of his miming routine that's like just 3 days of him doing a fucking jerk off motion, super realistically.
See, this is also like, you know, like Rob's living his bachelor life. So are you. So am I. So we have like that scope. But like, what about all of our listeners who have like a family? Like they have a significant other, kids possibly. There's just going to be a mime in their lives as well, or just a man typing.
If I get in the van, will the mime follow me? If
No, it's in your living room.
Like, is he always, so like if I go take the kids to like a soccer game, he's not going to be at the soccer game?
No, he's in your living room.
Just in my living room.
Oh,
Just always out there.
just lurking.
Just miming away. Is he miming when I'm not in the living room?
You don't know. There's a bear shit in the woods.
I don't know. Sometimes have
If
the
a
weird.
mime is unobserved, is he still miming?
I know.
A great quantum physics question.
I have this weird like mental image of mime. When somebody says mimes, like I know I'm supposed to like think of like the clown adjacent, like on the corner in France or whatever. But like I always think of the Pokemon one. Like
Oh, Mr. Mime? That would be 100
the
times
hair,
worse.
with the,
That would
the,
be so much worse.
Does he show up in a living room at a house that I'm visiting?
No, it's only yours.
My current,
can't
my
be
my
waiting.
primary resident.
Yes.
And no gaming it, so you can't like try to get ball spiders if you game it. So my primary residence at all times. The guy typing, is he like an old school like journalist kind of dude smoking cigarettes and typing?
He's like an old timey gentleman, like an
Like,
1800s kind of guy. He's got his suit. He's probably got a like a pipe.
Suit?
Yeah.
He's got like an unlit pipe just dangling from his mouth the whole time kind of situation.
Yeah.
That's kind of tight too. Damn. Is the mime like top tier?
Oh yeah.
I go with the mime. I think it's not even about the sound anymore. I think that the fact that there is a Schrodinger's mime in my living room at all times performing top tier miming is just highly intriguing to me.
Miming.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, especially and it's infinite mime is working in infinite shifts, right? So it's not always the same mime, right?
No. I almost think it'd be like almost like a baller statement. Like some people would be like, well, I'll never have guests again.
That's like my main
I
thing.
have guests all the time.
All the time.
I just pitch it as like a living art piece that I bought, like because I was just balling out of control.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, this is Jeffrey. He types all day, every day. We don't know what he's typing. We'll never know. That's part of the philosophical observance of this art piece.
Kara Quinn says all pipes are consistently unlit. My dad smoked pipe, consistently relighting. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
That's like what you do when you smoke a pipe, though. Like I tried to get into it years ago, and it's like a whole activity.
That's like a whole hobby in itself.
Yeah.
I carved a pipe. Like, I was like, this is fun. 20 minutes later, I was like, this is stupid. Dumb. Okay. Yeah, I go with the mime. You, Rob?
Yeah.
Mime?
Yeah, 100%.
Mime?
I'm gonna
Why
go
would you
typist.
Mine's OP, bro.
See the whole mimes being clown adjacent thing.
It's too much for you.
I don't like. I'm not like afraid of clowns, but I do find them unsettling. And then the whole thing of he's like silent. So like, what if I like forget he's there and I get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom? Kind of like have a heart attack by just a mime in the dark miming. Whereas like Jeffrey on the typewriter, I know he's there because I can hear him constantly. It's like it's almost assuring.
You've already named this guy?
Yeah, I mean you can name your
Sounds like
typist
it.
whatever you want, dude.
You can't get rid of him now. You gave him a name. That's it. If he was a cow, you couldn't eat him.
All right. Good one. Good one. Rob, exciting news this weekend?
Yes. There's like this Tau stuff coming out, I guess, this weekend. Some people might want it. Or might not, I guess, since the Codex leak. I don't know. I don't know where everybody's at on this. The internet's always going to be spicy for no reason.
Well, I think that battle box is cool.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's the standard, hey, you get, an extra $150 worth of stuff and the book early and all that.
Well, now that I've seen the Kroot detachment and their rules, I'm actually kind of like, I could do that. I could play this. This seems fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I reserved a box.
Yeah, I think it is going to be good. So the Kroot Empire, Tower Empire Army set, technically it's the Kroot hunting pack is $220 US, and that will go on pre-order about 1 p.m. Eastern this Saturday at on GDub's site, and of course at your local game store, hopefully. So be on the lookout for that one. It's got about an extra $150 or so, give or take, in value in there. Of course, you get the codex, you get the cards and things like that, everything you're going to need. So definitely solid value there if you're looking to get into the Tau faction and get a good jump start on. I think it comes with 2 squads of the Kroot carnivores too, so not too bad. Nice little remake, some 20-year-old models. Warhammer Underworlds has the Zondra's Gravebreakers coming out, so some undead models there. And they're re-releasing the original OG Shadespeasy original 4 factions this weekend too, in a new starter box called Rivals of the Mirrored City for $100. So you get the 4 packs with new cards inside. Which is a pretty good value because those were $40-some each. The starter, I think at the beginning was $40 or $50. Now they're like 80 something. So getting four warbands for $100 isn't too shabby at all, to be quite honest. So I'm not sure who actually plays Warhammer Underworlds. I guess a lot of people judging by how much they put this stuff out, but I haven't seen anybody actually playing it in a while. However, if you're into it, that is definitely a good deal comparatively. So there's that. Now, obviously, a lot of people have things going on for Adepticon. We got the Battle Foams doing a sale, 20% off Adepticon sale. It will be live on their website in about a week, give or take. So be on the lookout for that one. Monument Hobbies has a lot of stuff coming out, some exclusives, 2 new signature series and 6 new paints that will be available at the show. And then, of course, they'll be out in April at some point. Don't know exactly. But they also just put out the Neo bag. So if you're watching live, you can kind of see this little guy I got right here. It's got a nice sturdy bottom and lots of room to put your paints in here. And also and I don't have it set up right now, but they got this little sidecar thing that mollies onto the side, and you can put your if you bought some of those Lampat lights for $20 each, you can put those in it and hold it, which is really nice. So if you're looking to go painting on the go, well, that's probably a good way to do it if you're limited on space and or a budget. I feel like that is a good solution. I told Jason, when you come out with the Monument Hobbies to go hobby toolbox, I want to test it out. Currently, my tools are in a 30-year-old plastic toolbox from Walmart that I think I could do better, but I choose not to. So there's that. So lots of
30-year-old toolbox.
Yeah, like injection molded plastic, the little pull-out tray.
That's OG. Yep.
They definitely sell the same one, I'm sure. They have to.
Another one you're talking about.
So, I mean, it's worked, but I don't like it. What else is coming out? What else is going to be there? BattleTech's going to have some stuff for sure. New release things. I think Victoria Minis is going to have some of their paint toppers there. She just came up with 2 different paint topper lines, an orc looking one and a kraken one. Those are pretty cool.
Halo Flashpoint's going to be demoed.
Oh yeah, Halo Flashpoint. Yep. I saw the minis. A lot of folks posted them up at Gamma, and they look to be one piece, same color plastic, but they can be painted up. So, but these were all the like they're definitely like, hey, these are demo. These are not like production.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have more information at Adepticon. But I mean, like I'm pulling up the picture you sent right now, and they definitely seem like. Now that I look at these. Let me see if I can like open this to a higher resolution. I don't think these guys are connected to these bases. These look like MDF bases.
They do look like MDF bases for sure.
I think these guys are glued to bases. So whether or not they're they just said in their press release they're going to be pre-assembled, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's almost going to be like, remember that game, Dust Tactics?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
where their models were technically multi-part models, but they were pre-assembled.
Right, they pre-assembled it at the factory. Yeah,
yeah. Maybe it's something similar to that.
I don't know.
Like these models do look tight, like up close, high res. This looks like a either CO cast or plastic model that has been glued to a MDF base. Could be wrong. We'll see.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to playing that.
Same.
For sure. I don't know, and I haven't looked to see if Renegade Games is going to be there with the new Heroescape. So I don't. It's such a weird place to be in 2024 when you've got Heroescape coming back. If you guys remember that was a little like
well, I do.
Hexagonal like stacker miniatures that they used to sell at Walmart.
Yeah, grid base. Yeah,
they got that coming back, and Mage Knight has an expansion as well.
Old school, bro.
Dude, I'm like, what year is it? I don't even know anymore. So that'll be exciting to see. I don't know if they're going to be at Adepticon. It would be cool to see them. I'm sure there'll be some reveals from Atomic Mass Games as well for their games, just like there was last year. That will also be exciting. I guess the big news. Oh, if you're looking for deals alert. The Humble Bundle has the AOS game Realms of Ruin on their choice for the monthly thing. So it's like $11.99. You can put it on pause whenever you want, but you can get that Realms of Ruin video game that was like $60 that didn't do so well because it was $60. But I think for $11.99, that's pretty solid value. So make sure you check that one out there. We're also having a sale on a lot of our 3D prints over on our Etsy store. So if you like 3D Art Guy, Pop Goes the Monkey, Typeboard Designs, Heresy Lab, all of them, they're all 25% off over on our Etsy store right now for the rest of the month, just heading into Adepticon. So lots of 40K alternatives and conversion bits available over there. Really good deal. P.S. Leave us a good review because 5-star reviews are important. Thank you. I guess the big story. Oh, two big stories. So Call of Duty 40K, it's happening. It's real. It's available this week. And it looks so good. I wish I still played Call of Duty. I was like, oh my God, the trailer video where you got like two Stern Guards jumping off the back of like a Chinook and like just the aesthetic of it, everything just looks super fresh. It is a little off with them using like, like current era weaponry, but like how they move and how they do everything. It's very well done. And I don't think it's too bad of an ask for, what is it, like $28 or something to get the pack, and then you get to keep all the skins and everything. I know a lot of people are definitely opinionated about Call of Duty these days, but like, here's the thing, like everybody's collabing with everybody. It's rough out there financially, and just the fact that these studios are still there and GW has all these great license deals with all these different companies that we just saw a couple weeks ago is good to see, because I mean, when you have rivals like in the toy world, even working together, licensing each other's stuff, like, it's rough out there, and it is. So call it what you will, but I think it's a good thing in general for the state of affairs. I wouldn't call it selling out. I just call it surviving. And, a lot of people were like, oh, this should Helldivers 2. Like, dog, they didn't know about Helldivers 2. Like, that all this stuff is like in the works long before, it took how many 10 years of Call of Duty for them to like actually get together and license with them. Like, Helldivers 2 is relatively new. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I'm sure like with the creator
Helldivers
or the lead dev of the game coming out saying that he's a Warhammer guy.
Yeah.
Maybe they do a crossover at some point. We'll have to see, because like I think they have like a roadmap of stuff they're working on, because they just released kind of like the first post-launch content pack for that game. It's got a bright future, so it's actually kind of a cool story, because it's the first game in a long time to have, what is it called, like an inverse decay curve for sales, because usually like you get most of your sales from pre-orders and launch day buys, and then it goes down over time. Whereas these guys are getting more sales as time goes by, which is very, very rare in the industry. So it's become kind of a big deal.
Well, I mean, if you do something right, you're going to be rewarded this day and age. But the problem is that everybody is all about, shareholders and getting things to market as quick as possible, that they just put out garbage, and well, it doesn't work so well. The other big story, I guess that had a lot to do with today, was that it broke that Embracer finally sold off a couple of big assets on the gaming side of things that matter to us. Miniature Market was purchased a few years back, and now they have been repurchased from Embracer. So the whole deal with Embracer, and I think I touched on this a few years ago, like they thought they were going to get all this infusion of cash from kind of like supposedly the Saudi money market fund sort of deal. And it turned out to not happen. So they went on kind of a buying spree because times were tough and money was talking. And they scooped up all these studios and different assets and things. And then they kind of got caught holding the bag, And so now they're trying to spin everything off or sell it off or close it, whatever makes the most sense. So they sold off Miniature Market, which is kind of huge, because it was already kind of weird that they like, why does a publisher own an online retailer, slash seller slash game store? Like, I don't know what that was about, but they had some in France too. So whatever, they actually spun it off to supposedly some folks in the company that were, it sounds like they were French, at least from all appearances. And then they also sold the publisher, and I assume some of the studios that were making or had made Space Marine 2, the video game that's supposed to come out in September, and supposedly still is coming out in September, but it's still up for pre-order saying September 9th, but I guess we don't 100% know for sure right now. So there's that. So a lot of moving and shaking in the industry, but they definitely still own the rights to Lord of the Rings, because why would you not? That seems like a good thing to keep.
Is that a scandal? Space Marine video game, possible delay?
I mean, you could speculate, but like that's just like the whole thing. Like when a credit card company goes bankrupt or gets bought, like everybody's debt doesn't go away. Like it just gets transferred to the new company. So like when you sell these businesses, like this stuff's already in the pipeline, so it's like part of the assets.
Yeah.
So like it just goes, in a lot of cases, it just goes over here. It just doesn't disappear. Now, it could get delayed, but there's really no way to know, because they're speaking so vague in the press, in the statement. It was really more of to reassure shareholders and their own employees that everything was okay than any actual concrete details.
Fair.
I don't know.
So as of right now, no, not a scandal.
No, probably not, because they want that cheddar. And we'll see. Oh, hopefully the game's good. I mean, it looks good. So there's that. Lots of other stuff I'm sure we'll see next week, and I'm sure we'll talk about that here in the rest of the show, and maybe some Tau as well.
Fair. All right, let's hit the commercial break. Hear from some sponsors, and then let's talk about Tau and Adepticon.
For the best game aids and peripheral tools for wargaming, check out our friend J15games.com. From wound counters and dials to faction rule trackers, these are the coolest tools out there. Designed to be functional and intuitive, these tools help you stay organized and speed up your game. Their flagship product, the Nesting, Movement, and Combat tool, is absolutely amazing. A magnetized measuring widget that splits into 3 different size tools for every situation. And you can get it in 8 different colors. J15 also offers custom ordered dice trays made from hardwood and leather. Check them out at j15games.com. That's j15games.com.
baronofdice.com, the official dice sponsor of the Long War podcast. Use promo code LONGWAR5 for 5% off. If you're looking for a superior dice manufacturer, then look no further than Baron of Dice. Custom artwork, faction representation, and crisp razor edge square dice. Remember to use promo code LONGWAR5. Again, that's baronofdice.com, the official dice sponsor of this podcast. And we're back. New Tau Codex leaks. We're talking good old spy cam footage of most of the pages of the Tau Codex out for dissemination on the internet. And according to Reddit, unplayable trash.
Oh,
Wyatt?
I
have a question for Wyatt. Wyatt,
Yes.
is the Codex, just without even looking at it, would you speculate that it's unplayable trash, or that the historical Tau community is just whining as they do?
Oh, for sure the second.
That's right.
I think as a community, we can all understand how Tau players can be. Because the two big things that have been announced is Crisis battlesuits are having their loadouts changed from your kind of old school Build-A-Bear style to fixed loadouts, and those fixed loadouts each represent a data sheet. So there's like guys with fusion, that's a data sheet. Guys with plasma, that's a data sheet. Stuff like that. And the advent of points changes, stuff like that. So with these leaks coming out, a lot of the data sheets are copy paste from what they were, and with the decks, you're getting the inclusion of bespoke detachments with stratagems and enhancements, like all the other dexes and everything that goes into them, and the points coming out. And so, I mean, we kind of joke on the Tau stuff, but it is kind of a thing that no matter what happens, there's always some initial dooming from people when something new comes out. I mean, like, we can even look back to previous editions where like Tyranids came out and the prevailing opinion was gloom and doom. This codex sucks ass. It's the worst. Well, it turns out as soon as you actually crack that book open and start putting lists together and playing it, Tyranids were like unbeatable until being heavily nerfed, right? When the Custodes Codex came out, everybody was like, Custodes are trash.
These katas are dumb. They don't make sense.
So stupid. Yeah. And then it turns out, oh, you actually start putting stuff on the table and getting some games in. It's like Custodes are pretty OP until they were heavily nerfed, right? So I try to look at things of, well, all the data sheets are basically the same except for the new Crisis Suit data sheets and the crude stuff. And Tau already had a solid suite of data sheets. And now they have these new detachments, new enhancements, new stratagems, and we're just going to have to kind of wait and see, because even if something seems really good on paper, it may not be in practice. And if something might not seem all that tight in practice, it might be actually pretty good. So we'll have to kind of wait and see when the codex comes out and people start playing it.
Yeah, the from what we speculated earlier today when we were discussing it in tactics, the Crisis Suit community is sad because what they were basically doing like triple cyclonic blasters. The fuck are those things? CIBs.
Yeah, I don't. You're close enough.
Cyclical ion blasters.
Yeah, they don't exist anymore, so it doesn't matter.
So like, the Build-A-Bear Crisis Suit was heavily skewed toward all my guys had 3 of those, right? And so it was really just us looking at the box, looking at the best rules, and then copy and pasting that Build-A-Bear technique onto all of our guys in the squad. Cyclical ion blaster. So like, GW's moved away from that. Like, that should have been obvious that was going to happen. GW has moved to the world where when you buy a box of 5 Terminators and they have these specific weapons in the box, that's actually, when you look in the data sheet now, that's what the squad is. They don't give you this like list of like, you know, options that are impossible to build based on what comes in the box.
Right. There's pros and cons to that, right? Like, in the old way, there's a lot of player expression when building units and putting stuff in lists, because you could meticulously go in and change up all this war gear however you wanted to, right? And some people thought that was really cool. I mean, like, we had a lot of fun with that. The problem with that is that if you want to do it using the product, you have to buy way more stuff than what you need. Like, we all remember the fiasco with like the new Havocs and only having one chain cannon in a box, stuff like that, right? Or you have to go to third-party companies to get all of these guns and bits and everything. And war gear could change wildly between editions. So unless you had the foresight to like magnetize things, you could have whole stuff just like, I can't play with this model ever again because this weapon doesn't exist, or they took away this loadout, whatever it might be. And then on the other side of that coin, with just coming into the box, it's a lot easier for people to get into the hobby and figure out how to put lists together. So it's like, I want to put my Terminators in there, and they come how they are in the box with a couple of things you can swap in or out, like heavy weapons. And it also makes it to where, like, if I want, 5 Havocs or, Devastators, Terminators, whatever it might be, I don't need to purchase 5 extra boxes of stuff to get the weapons I want. And I don't have to go to a third company to get new bits, which obviously GW doesn't like.
There it is.
Yeah, for sure. But also, I mean, it is. I mean, even in the case of like older boxes, you saw them do this when they were like Chaos Surveyors. It's a cursed weapons. I don't care what it looks like.
No, I mean,
I don't care if it's
smart.
we used to have like a rule for a power mace, a power axe, a power sword.
Yeah.
It's like bro.
Initially, I kind of railed against it because I like my war gear stuff, right? But then with the new stuff now, I'm just like, you know what? I'm over it because like the profile is fine.
I'm over because rate of play is increased, man.
Yeah, and your player expression is up because you can model however you want to, right? And just as long as you have the data sheet on the table, like you guys could be equipped with whatever the heck you want, rule of cool, but you have the data sheet rules right there. Doesn't matter.
Oh, that's a true story, man. I mean, and I think it's obviously totally fine for people to be disappointed that some cool new thing they made is not at this moment playable. And I always sympathize with somebody who's in that situation, but the game will move forward. And triple ion blaster based on a bit that was only like for one guy in the box. Like we moved away from it, man. That sucks. But when we read through what we could see earlier, there was like lots of cool shit in there, man. Like this new crew stuff looking baller, some great stratagems, some great enhancements. Yeah. I mean, there's so much to like focus on that's positive.
I don't know. I think maybe this is a hot take, but I think a lot of the folks in these groups in these forums might not actually play.
Oh yeah, for sure. What? You always have to temper that always. That you have people that'll whine up and down till the cows come home, but it's like they haven't played a game of 40K in like 10 years, if they ever played one.
Yeah, there's a lot of armchair quarterbacks out there.
Yeah, they just want to be part of the discourse.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, we were looking over the codex during tactics earlier, and they have some interesting stuff. We were looking at the articles that kind of talk about some of the stuff. So for the detachment whatnots, but for me, the new thing that I wanted to see the most was the Kroot detachment, because they're talking about all this new Kroot stuff. The models look sick. Kroot have a really cool part of the lore, like really awesome look. And the Kroot hunting pack detachment is pretty interesting. It has two detachment, well, technically three, but two detachment rules. The first is you get +1 to hit if the target is less than starting strength, and you get +1 to wound on top of that if it's below half strength. The second one is that all Kroot have a 6-up invul save in melee and a 5-up invul save against shooting attacks. So even though they're basically wearing like t-shirt armor, they have these invul saves, which I guess is supposed to be their agility, their bird kung fu.
Their ninja.
Yeah, and then the little addendum is that if you use this attachment, Kroot Carnivore become battle line.
Yeah, that's pretty hype.
Right?
Yeah.
Need more
so
Kroot.
Before I get into the enhancements, I will say just as like to mention this before, like when we go through these enhancements, keep in mind that pretty much every unit that is Kroot has a combination of scout, infiltrate, and stealth. Like that's kind of their thing. Like they all have scout. Some of them have scout and infiltrate. Some of them have all three, like that kind of thing. So when we go over these enhancements, keep that in mind. The first one is the Kroot Hawk flock, which I guess is he's got a flock of birds. He's got some crow tech.
Yeah, crow tech slabs.
It does. Kroot model only. Ranged weapons equipped by models in the bearer's unit have ignores cover, and enemy units that are set up on the battlefield as reinforcements cannot be set up within 12 inches of the bearer.
Got him.
So we get deep strike denial, super solid ability. Nomadic hunter is for trail shapers. There's 3 types of shapers. While the bear is leading a unit, add 3 inches to the move characteristic of models in that unit, and ranged weapons have the assault ability. So immediately, this is great for tech. You get farther movement. You have assault, so you can move farther, advance, and still do actions, or move farther, advance, and still shoot. Very good. Root carved weapons. It's for a war shaper. All weapons equipped by the bear have precision and devastating wounds. We were looking at the war shaper data sheet, and he's like okay. He's a like 60, 65 point model for an HQ. His stuff is like all right. It can go, it's like 2 damage, but low AP, low strength. So precision and devastating wounds like could be kind of spicy, but I don't know if this one is a must have. It's definitely not as useful as the tech from the other 2. And the last one is the Borthgrod gland. It's for a flesh shaper. While the bear is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, an unmodified hit roll of 5 scores a critical hit.
Hello, dude. I think it's so wild, dude. Like, bro, you got all these motherfuckers scouting and infiltrating.
Yeah, dude. Like
Crossover. Yeah, like this is
very
good.
tricksy. Like very tricksy. Their stratagems are all like pretty useful. There's one that's like kind of very situational that has to do with an interaction with vehicles, but it's like they have a reinforcement stratagem like guard. They have the force a battle shock after killing a unit aura like world eaters. They have a make a unit lone operative stratagem.
They got the deep striker.
Yeah, like they have a fallback shoot and charge stratagem. They have it's kind of like Fields of Fire. So the way this stratagem works is once a Kroot unit has finished its activation, either shooting or fighting, then the target that they hit, everybody else who targets that unit gets bonus AP. So it's like they're shooting at a unit and they kind of like pin it down, and then everybody else who shoots at that unit, they get bonus AP. Or it also works in the fight phase. This is like a pretty solid suite of stratagems for these guys. And the thing is, like, all these guys are not that tight as far as stat line goes. So you're going to be working with lots of big numbers of units, like carnivores or units of 10 or 20. You got a lot of Kroot hounds doing stuff, a lot of chaff style troops.
Mm-hmm.
The characters are pretty interesting. They all do different things. Like, for example, the Kroot Warshaper can use a battle tactic for 0 CP, even if it's already been used.
Where have we seen that before?
Yep. I mean, maybe he ate the brain of a Space Marine captain, dude, gained that knowledge.
Or a custodian.
Yeah, see? The Kroot riders are pretty interesting. They're a T6 with 5 wounds. So they're kind of chunky, and like they have that 5-up invul save against range, all that kind of stuff. Their guns are all right. Like they're good at fighting light infantry to medium infantry. And the Kroot rampagers are kind of the melee equivalent of those guys, just like, guerrilla charging into stuff. Their attacks have sustained 1, and their strength 6, AP 1, 2 damage. So like pretty okay at dealing with something with, like Space Marine stats. But the cool ability they have is called Line Breakers, where when they finish a charge, for every Kroot Rampager that ends in engagement range against a targeted unit, you roll a dice, and on a 4+, it deals D3 mortal wounds to the unit. So it's either 3 or 6. So it could be 3D6 or 3D3 or 6D3 mortal wounds when they finish a charge.
Bro, spicy, dude. Like,
Spam.
there is an advance in charge too, right? We saw. No, I thought we saw an advance.
I mean, there might be one in the in like a character ability or something, but as far as enhancements or stratagems, there's not an advance in charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought I heard you say one earlier.
They can fall back, shoot, and charge for a CP.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
And I can look through. Let's see. So the mounted character is lone op. What is range attack, shooting phase? So not them. I don't see. They didn't take pictures of like the back of the data sheets that shows like where they're
the compositions.
Oh,
and
no,
stuff.
it is. Here it is. Crude carnivores, crude farstalkers. Yeah. So they don't have a character that can join the Crutox riders. Just kind of browsing like it's while this model is leading a unit.
Well, we don't know because we can't see the back of the characters.
No, it says leader right here. I see it.
Oh,
It was range weapons, melee weapons leader. So there's like the trail shaper is, yeah, it's leading a unit. They get to do like a reactive move if you move within 9. So there's not really anything that's going to be buffing up the Crutox from characters.
No. Man, I'm interested to see all the rules in my hands, how they like splice together. You know, like because
Yeah, like there's going to be some synergies, right? So just a basic thing for Kroot Farstalkers, which is their like scout troop. At the start of the battle, you select a unit from your opponent's army, and then they get lethal hits and precision versus that unit.
bro, that's tight.
The Kroot Hounds, they have a thing where if they're if they're within 6 of one or more Kroot infantry units, it's the Kroot Hounds can advance and charge. Just them.
The bounding leap or whatever.
Yeah, loping pounce. And then they have while this unit is within 12 of one or more Kroot characters, their OC is changed to 1 from 0. So they actually can hold objectives and stuff. So you have like a Kroot and his doggos, they can actually hold something. The thing too is like if you want to run all Kroot, like you totally can. The problem they have right now is all of their units are kind of like glass cannony. Like they can shoot pretty okay, they can fight pretty okay, but they'll like crumble to anything that's like dedicated to shooting or melee. So you're going to need a lot of them. And they don't really have anything of high strength value, right? Like the Kroot Lone Spear, he has a javelin he can throw that is strength 10. That's like the highest strength they got. So you might want to work in some of the Tau big guns for being able to deal with some of the larger toughness threats.
Man, but it looks like they have like devastating wounds, lethal hits spliced in, so they got some workarounds though.
Yeah, there's some synergies. Like they're going to be a very like kind of stealthy, tricksy army to play. Like play to the format, kind of try to score points, not focus too much on trying to smash through your opponent.
I like it. So, sorry, Tau people, your dumb-looking crisis suits don't do the same thing they used to do. Those awful old-school janky sculpts, the dumb-looking weapons.
No, they updated the crisis suits recently.
Shit, that's how I loop up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that, guys. I didn't mean to insult you. If you're someone who has those new tight crisis suits that I'm Googling right now,
They look the same. They're just updated with more joints.
new crisis
They're the same
suit,
thing.
40K.
It's true. Oh, I didn't even look at the Storm Surge.
Yeah, they're still dumb.
What's that do?
They're still dumb.
Let's see here. Storm Surge.
Did they just port it over?
I didn't look at it, but I was told that most of them are copy paste.
I didn't have time to look at it
These are all characters.
today.
Saw the Ghost Heal. I think it's after all the Kroot stuff. Let me scroll down. Ghost Heal, Kroot. Piranhas. Wait, which one did you say? The what suit?
Storm Surge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was looking at the Riptide. Oh, here he is. He's T11 with 20 wounds. He's got a 4-up invul save, 2-up armor save. He's got all the gun options.
I hope so.
Heavy Walker, support system, Titan Killer.
Titan Killer.
Yeah, you can reroll hits versus Titanic or Towering.
Interesting.
Crisis suits now with more joints. Still dumb.
Bold.
Bro, Tal's been dumb looking the whole time, dude. Crew to
I like their
Trying to trigger
vehicles.
people.
Crew to the coolest thing they have, man.
I've always been very partial to crew.
Yeah, Crew are cool.
Crew are cool as hell.
I think I still have a squad because you used to be able to ally them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I have a painted squad somewhere.
There's some janky crew ally rules back in the day, yeah.
Yep. Looking forward to getting the con exclusive Crew guy from Adepticon.
Oh, the one that throwing that the crew glaive around. He's like,
Yeah,
"Ah!"
dude. Yeah, I want him. I like
It reminds me of that
and I want it.
the Necromunda dude that like, yeah, you got it. Has that like huge eviscerator. He's just like, "Rah!"
Oh, yeah, that shit was tight.
It's like the same pose almost,
That guy's like a part of my childhood.
except
Yeah,
for one's
I mean-
a Birdman, one has a flaming head.
I like all of the new Crew stuff. Like, I think this Lone Spear guy with his little like salamander ass mount, he's cool.
There's a couple of little salamander mount things
That's
from
right.
that preview.
That's right. Hello, fellow melee enjoyers.
Yes, hello.
Yeah.
I like
love
those rampagers.
Me too.
Yes,
They're cool looking.
They are.
I don't know how practical they're going to be on the tabletop, though I do believe they have solid rules. They're not particularly like that solid at anything. The mortal wound thing that Wyatt talked about is cool, but they are mounted, so like they got to go around shit. So
Mhm.
Yeah, so they're 130 points for being, so they move 7, T6, 5-up armor within, then you have the invul saves built in,
Mhm.
5 wounds and OC2. So I mean, like they're kind of like, it's like 130 points for 15 toughness 6 wounds with a 5-up invul save.
yeah, it's honestly not
the
that.
worst thing.
It's not the worst thing. No, it's not the worst thing. They're like bargain possessed. You know what I mean? Like when you think about it, kind of like
Yeah.
it's like bargain possessed that struggle to get around walls.
Right.
That's
It
a problem.
is good to note. So like both of the Crutox units do have the grenades keyword. So you can use the grenade strat. So I mean,
Oh,
like
the tangle.
there is no, just the grenades
They're
strat.
great. Yeah.
Oh, the grenade.
Mortal, yeah, mortal
They have
wounds.
a tangle something, don't they?
They have a gun called a tangle cannon, but it
That's what it
doesn't
is.
do anything.
I'm just thinking of
It's-
the custody.
You think of the Custodian's best strat?
Yeah, I'm
one of the
dumb.
best strats of all time.
They have a stratagem called EMP grenades, but it's
I remember
very situational. It says in your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase, just after an enemy vehicle is selected to shoot or fight, a Crute grenades unit within 8 inches of that vehicle can force it to have 1 less weapon skill and ballistic skill. That's it. That's all. Like, so it's situational, right? Everything else is very like utility based. It's very interesting. And like I said earlier, the thing with this army, like if you're gonna spam Crute, you can throw off people's math with their built-in invul saves, but at the same time, like they will die to volume fire, right? Like they will die easily. Well, there's a difference between dying to volume fire of like, 15 Space Marine killing shots, right? Like that's one type of math. And then you have like, here's 20 bolter shots. Like those 20 bolter shots might kill 5, 8, 10 Crute if you're not careful, right?
Yeah. Yep. I mean,
They're going to be very tactical. Like you got to set up all your stuff. You got to be stealthy.
you can't throw someone's math off at the last second, though. That's what's cool about it.
Right.
I like that. No, that's pretty neat, man. I'm stoked. This is kind of what our dream was, honestly. Like, I think there might be a lot of people who are upset which, like, again, all joking aside, I get it. You got something that works. You love it. You might even painted it, and now they pull the rug out from under you. I'm sorry this has happened to you for your first time. But stick with it. You'll be all right. Like, we talk about that a lot on the podcast. Like, but look at the new shit, man. How many? There's is equally as many people, Rob, who are like, man, I hope crew gets some cool rules.
They did get some cool rules.
They did get some cool rules, man. Look at that.
Is it like OP 6-0 whilst face rolling? No, but it's cool, and I think like
recruiter are like usable and meaningful now.
Yeah, I foresee this army. It's like if you know what you're doing and you play the game that they're built for, they can be kind of a menace, right? Because like they're not going to be, just like smashing through opponents. And you do have some rock, paper, scissors counters, right? Like anything kind of like orcs or world eaters that is just going to like rush you down and hit you with like 50 AP1 attacks, right? Like they'll pick up a lot of crew. Like you got to be very careful. But I do foresee players that like to play the game more stealthily, tactily, without, like the big anvil hammer units kind of thing, right? Like you won't have access to those. So you got to play to the format. You got to utilize your scout moves, got to utilize your stealth, got to be like, oh, you're going to target this, like lone operative, can't shoot it down. Score your points.
Fair. I'm with it.
We'll see.
I'm giving it a thumbs up. Well,
it's that time again.
Give me a summary of your big Adepticon prediction, Rob.
I think everybody's pretty much in agreement that we're going to see something for Sigmar, like maybe a new edition or something like that. They pretty much said we're going to see something for almost every one of the games, and I think they said teasers for 2 other games or something. Old World, obviously, there's a lot of factions still out there that they haven't even touched on. So that'll be cool to see kind of what they're doing with all that. There's so much still that they've revealed, and so much more that's just kind of sitting and waiting on release slots too. Mm-hmm. I think we're definitely going to see Sigmar. I think we'll see more on Sisters and Chaos because they're going to be the early summer, maybe Custodes, but it just depends on the order they're going to come out with. But I think that Redacted faction, the more and more I think about it, I think it could be more towards the Guard side of things. Just because Guard is, I mean, it's good, but like they can do so much more with it, and they really just didn't even scratch the surface yet. So it'd be cool to see, Guard be the big summer release or one of the big summer releases for 40K. That's kind of what I'm excited for, at least.
Sounds reasonable. Wyatt, do you refute any of that?
Ooh, I'm gonna swing for the fences. I'm gonna make some big bets, some big Vegas odds bets on this one.
Yeah.
I don't care about any of the other shit. We talk about 40K here. So my 40K prediction is a big splash with Chaos Space Marines, and it's going to be Emperor's Children, new Lucius the Eternal model, at least one other new unit, maybe something that has to do with Fabulous Bill, maybe some kind of like weird experimental type possessed, and also a new campaign book series, possibly leading up to a release of Fulgrim, the way they did for Angron.
Bold. I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm placing a few bets, like the over under, the spread. So we'll see what happens.
Good job, guys. So I think we knocked it out of the park. Coverage of the Tau, predictions on Adepticon. We'll be at Adepticon. So if you want to come by and say hi, we'll all be in the same room at the same time. on Friday, the entire fucking day. So you can come find us in the main hall at the judges booth, running the Long War doubles. We're selling some merch, selling some swag. Come by. I'm always looking for volunteers to help out with paint judging too. So you just swing by and say hi. Say I'm here for the gangbang. That's the code word.
The soup kitchen.
I'm not sure that means what you think it means.
No, we're not misconstrue it. All right. Well, good one, Wyatt. You want to take us out of here?
Rob?
So that's it for this one, y'all. Make sure to head on over to thelongwar.net for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.